Here's the biggest lie in the NFL right now. You can win free agency because you can't. And the data proves it. Over a 10-year span, more than half of the top free agents didn't even live up to their contracts, not exceed them, didn't even meet expectations, and nearly 30% were straight up disasters. But every March, we do the same thing. Fans celebrate, teams flex on social media, and everybody thinks they just fixed their franchise overnight. Meanwhile, the truth is the exact opposite. The biggest contracts are often the worst investments. Running backs, bust rate. Wide receivers, overpaid. Quarterbacks, total gamble. The teams that actually win in this league don't build through free agency. They survive it. They draft well, they develop talent, and then they use free agency like a tool, not a foundation. So when your team wins the offseason, history says they probably didn't. What just happened this weekend or this last couple of weeks? NFL free agency. Excitement, headlines, splash moves. Fans and teams convince themselves that they won the offseason, but history says that's usually not true.
Yeah, no, studies of the top 500 top free agents from 2023 to 2022, their average grade for that is just a 2.26 out of 6, which is well below average. Only 41% of signings are actually, quote unquote, successful. 58% are disappointment or worse. Nearly 30% are major failures or disasters, and only 4.2% are Pro Bowl or superstar level. That is more than half the time these teams are regretting the deals that they're making.
And from 2013 to 2022, that's a large sample size of free agent contracts. And what happens to these NFL teams that sign these particular deals? And this is where teams get it wrong, paying for hype and not value. Biggest names are not the safest bets. Top tier free agents actually perform worse than mid tier ones, and teams overestimate their ability to pick the right guy. Skill positions are a trap market. Worst success rate, 10% success rate for running backs, approximately 30% success rate for wide receivers, and quarterbacks are very volatile and risky. Meanwhile, safeties, O-line, D-line, much safer investments. Teams chase highlights instead of impact. And I could have told you that. Just as a football coach, where you have success is in the trenches and safeties and linebackers because they fill out special teams. That is where your value is for contracts. It's not paying wide receivers. It's not paying running backs. It's not spending money on positions that would make a upgrade to your fantasy team, Frank. You got to build within the trenches, and you got to keep everything young by going through the draft.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does. You do need those players. You do need those pieces. You do need the big star wide receiver. You do need help in those areas, but not at the price that you are going to have to pay for them during a free agency window. And another thing here, age really matters more than teams admit. The best window is for a 24 to 27-year-old when they hit free agency. Productive drops when players hit their late 20s and into their early 30s, but teams still pay these guys not for what they're doing, but for what it says on the back of their card.
And here's why teams keep doing it. It's that hope. It's that human element, right? It's the hope over logic. It's the pressure to win the offseason. It's ownership wants headlines. They want the hype. They want people and their fans excited about the season. And general managers bet on being the exception. Every team thinks, yeah, but our guy is different. But the reality is hits exist. They are very rare. Like short-term quarterback swings, you're really getting lucky. Like the Sam Darnolds of the world, right? It's
Daniel
like,
Jones.
look, this worked out for one season. But, there are some strategic fix, but disasters pile up. Big money quarterbacks flop. Wide receiver deals age poorly. Injury risk kills contracts. I mean, I look at like the free agent signing of Russell Wilson multiple times going like, really? Or the trade for Russell Wilson too. It's like, this guy is not worth the amount of money that you're spending to make a big headline splash. And to be honest with you, really look like you're building a fantasy team instead of an actual football team.
Yeah, and this one came down while we were doing our show on Monday as we record this. Travis Kelce just signed a new 3-year deal rounded up worth about $55 million. He is not worth $55 million anymore. That is a
No.
huge overpay for the Kansas City Chiefs for a guy who they were talking all year about him possibly retiring at the end of the season. Now to get a 3-year, $55 million contract in free agency, that is insane for the Kansas City Chiefs to do that, even with a player they have a rapport with.
That's such a emotional signing for the Kansas City Chiefs from
Mhm.
so many different aspects of that particular deal. But free agency is not how you build a winner in the National Football League. It's how you patch some holes. It's how you take calculated swings, and it's not how you build a core. The best teams draft and develop in the National Football League and use free agents selectively. The worst teams, the ones that try to make the headlines and try to buy relevance overnight. So as you sit here and you listen to this, you watch this breakdown of the NFL, and you want to think about what your team is doing right now in free agency, you kind of hope they're not spending a lot of money and they're focused on the draft, because that is what wins. That's what wins Super Bowls in the National Football League.